evening, good day actually. I don't want to say good evening, good morning or whatever. Good day everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in WiLAT Malaysia's webinar series, and we're on the third series today. Today we have on our panel our very special brand new global chairperson. Joining us is one of our panel speakers. We also have our Madam Ng from Sabah Ports from Suria PLC. She's also a committee member for WiLAT chapter in Sabah. This is in East Malaysia. And today moderating the event is Dr. Rohafiz, also a WiLAT Malaysia committee member. And of course, our chairperson for WiLAT Malaysia, Haja Zavia Abdul Majid. Now, without much ado, today's topic is about empowerment. This is the third strategic thrust of Global WiLAT that is percolated through all the national chapters for WiLAT as well as WiLAT Malaysia. So let me pass the mic now to our moderator, Dr. Rohafiz. The mic is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Raj. Good day to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity that given by the WiLAT Malaysia in order to moderate. Yeah, we have a very dedicated speakers, and then WiLAT, this is like a third series. For the skill set for the woman in the new economy. Now we're talking about empowerment. Nowadays we have a lot of empowerment, and achieving gender equality is essential for our society. So we want to see where the woman can contribute to the nations in terms of the business, in terms of the transport, logistics, and many things. And then we can see the high proportions of the woman, like young lady, enter to the transport and logistics market. So this is the opportunity to us to make sure the empowerment can be delivered, in the great manners. So let me introduce the speaker by today, Puan Zawia Abdul Majid, WiLAT Malaysia Chairperson, WiLAT Global VC Southeast Asia. And the second speaker is Madam Gayani de Alwis, WiLAT Global Chairperson. And the third speaker is Madam Kiat, Group MD for Suria Capital Holding Berhad, very experienced in terms of the port management and as well as the WiLAT member Malaysia committees. So let me, we share the interesting topic today. So I would like to call upon Madam Zawia to introduce herself to the discussion. Over to you then.
Yeah, okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. Happy day. Yeah. We are very grateful to be with all of you today. Yeah. So honorable guests, respected CILT members, and all my dear friends. Okay, today we will have our third series. Thank you to our Madam Reshma, Queen of WiLAT webinar. Yeah, and thank you to Dr. Rohafiz, our moderator, and also to our great speaker, inspiring ladies, that is our global WiLAT chairperson, as well as Madam Madam Gayani de Alwis. She's very popular in CLT. Yeah. And also our Madam Ng Kiat Ming, MD from Sabah Port. Okay, so I would like to go through what is WiLAT all about. Okay, so thank you everyone for making your time to be with us today. Okay, so this is our third on empowerment, and previously we have our second series, entrepreneurship, and earlier on we have on leadership, where we have two great speakers, Dr. Dorothy Chan, now is our immediate past WiLAT Global Chairperson, now, and also Madam Judy Chong. And next who are we? We are Women in Logistics and Transport. We are Council of CILT Malaysia, established to champion and promote the role of women in logistic transport and supply chain related field in Malaysia. So it is a part of global network of CILT national chapter in 21 countries and more to go, inshallah. So we promote the status of women in logistics and transport to bring together those to support the talent and career development of women, and to provide a support network and mentoring opportunity for women in the sector. So we have 4 trusts. So this is the 4 trusts: mentorship, empowerment, leadership, as well as entrepreneurship. So I always mention that the most powerful ship is the relationship. Yeah. Okay. So next we have this is our global structure, where we have from the CILT, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, the President and the International Council, patroned by Her Majesty the Queens, and our vision. And we have here the every year we have our ICM. Okay, next slide. We have in 2011 in Sydney. So this is how we started Women in Logistics and Transport. This is the idea come from Haja Aisyah Ibrahim. We started in ICM, the idea, and then 2011 in Sydney, Australia. There it goes until last year in Manchester. So supposedly today, this year we have in Perth, Australia. However, due to the pandemic, so we could not meet up face to face. But we are active in online. So this is how we started in Malaysia. In Malaysia, first we call it WILMAS, Women in Logistics Malaysia. However, global launching in 2013 in Sri Lanka. So everybody call it Women in Logistics and Transport. That is WiLAT. Okay. So next we have, before I forget, best warmest regard from our international president, T.S. Datuk Razak Malay, and also from our Malaysia CILT President Tuan Haji T.S. Ramli. Yeah, they couldn't join us, so they send warmest regard to all of us. Okay, so this is we have in Malacca 2014, and it is a very cheerful event, and it's very memorable. Yeah. Okay, and then this is the WiLAT Global Governance, where we have from the Council of Trustees. There it goes. Global WiLAT Council, WiLAT Steering Committee, and territories. We have WiLAT Malaysia, and this is the CILT Malaysia structure. We have from Penang, Terengganu, and inshallah more to go. Okay, so you can see this in our website. So in CILT Malaysia, we have council members, and then we have all these activities. So we encourage everyone to join us. Yeah, all of you are welcome to join us. Yeah. And this is some of the activities where we have with Apex WIT mentorship and Ministry of Transport, and WiLAT TikTok networking, where CILTM accredited more than 26 colleges, university training providers, and we also have CSR to the autism child, and the international linkages in South Korea, CILT Jakarta, Singapore, Hong Kong, India. Yeah, and then we have also in linkages Mauritius, China. We have many events, yeah, in many countries. We are just like sisters and brothers. Okay, so WiLAT, for WiLAT, although women in logistics and transport, actually WiLAT is for all of us, even for men. And men, we don't call WiLAT, but we call friends of WiLAT. Yeah. Okay, so we encourage all of you to join. So this is gathering in China. They have every year. So last year we have in China, and we also meet up Cambodia connection in China. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have in Southeast Asia more women in logistics and transport, and also for WiLAT. And this is where I have the opportunity, they call a speaker to talk about halal logistics, where I am appointed trainer for this halal logistics. And we have invitation from CILT India. Yeah, and this is last year. It is very as you can see, all the faces, the smiling faces. Yeah, we are all like brothers, sisters, one big family, a happy family. Yeah, when we meet up, as though we don't want to miss everyone. Yeah, so this is us, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Women in Logistics and Transport. So happy webinar. So we have another one more trust to go. Yeah. So on mentorship. So see you again. Thank you. Happy webinar together. Yeah. Dr. Rohafiz,
Doctor, can you please put your mic on?
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Zawia, for the interesting opening, session. So we would like to hear more from you on the activities program that delivered by WiLAT Malaysia. We just wondering if the, on the impact of the women empowerment in terms of the logistics and transport, and then and then if I think it's quite good, interesting discussion in terms of the how young women will play a biggest role in terms of economic contribution to the logistics and transport as well. So I will pass the second session to Madam Jayani, Jayani de Alwis from WiLAT Global Chairperson, as a WiLAT Global Chairperson. So over to you then, Madam.
Thank you everyone. Give me a bit of time to share my screen.
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit accolades to Gayani. I'm going to say she's our superwoman. I mean, this lady has really taken us to places that unimaginable heights. So I'm also very excited to hear what Gayani has to show us today.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will allow me to share now, right? Reshma, you can see the screen now?
Yes, I can see the screen, but we're seeing your desktop. You want to pick the window with your PowerPoint.
Yeah, I just do that.
Also, can the panelist, apparently one of the attendees has mentioned that they can't hear us clearly. So maybe you want to put the mics on closer to your mouth, probably.
All right. Okay, we take note on this one, Madam. Yeah.
Now, can you see the screen?
No, I think, Gayani, you just take the screen share off and then start again, and then look for the window with your screen, or would you like me to do that for you?
Yeah, I will wait. You can do that, but then I can do the screens, no? Slides.
Yeah, but you'll have to, if you're going to show the slides, you can go ahead. If you want me to, you'll have to make me a host.
Wait, I will close it. Give me just, now I'm going to do this. Okay now?
No, ma'am, still not here. Still not on the screen.
Yeah, I'm now trying to do this now.
Okay, yes. Perfect. Just go to the, excellent. You're on, ma'am.
Sorry about it. Sorry about the small hiccup. Good day to everyone in customary Sri Lankan style. Since I'm a Sri Lankan, I'll say Ayubowan. Ayubowan meaning may you live longer. That's very important in this chaos that we are in these days with COVID pandemic. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum. I hope I pronounce it properly. To all my dear Malaysian friends and any other international WiLAT CILT who are tuned in today. It is a privilege for me, this being my first webinar as I undertook the new role as the Global WiLAT Chairperson. I'm really happy and privileged to share my thoughts on one of the key important strategic thrusts of WiLAT. So today's topic is women empowerment. It's a very broad area, like Zavia mentioned as well. WiLAT is focusing on these 4 strategic thrusts. As you all know, she mentioned briefly, WiLAT is the Women's Forum of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, and we are a very young organization. We set up our global organization on in 2013. So we are 7 years old. When you compare with our mother organization, CILT, which is almost 100 plus now. So we as a young organization has been achieving great things. CMILT is present in 36 countries, and in the last 7 years, WiLAT together, collectively, all of us have expanded our reach to 22 countries now. So we all should be really happy about it. It's not a case of talking about gender. It is how we really want to expand and contribute to the global economy and in our own countries as well. So in that respect, as a professional body and the Women's Forum of the professional body, what we want to drive is we will look at four strategic thrust areas: the mentorship, empowerment, leadership, and entrepreneurship. So it's quite opportune that you have chosen empowerment to speak about today. So I just looked at the dictionary, and this is the Webster dictionary defines what empowerment is. It says granting of the power, right, or authority to perform various acts or duties. This is the simplest definition of what empowerment is all about. Do we as women have that power, the right, and the authority to perform our duties across the globe? Unfortunately, it is not. I would like to bring your attention to the Global Gender Gap latest report of 2020. Empowerment means giving women the opportunity to take part in the economic development, allow women to study and achieve the education qualifications and access to education. Health and survival, health and well-being is an important part. And of course, the decision-making, political empowerment. No point in having all of the above if you don't have the power to decide what really is needed for you. So these are the 4 elements that the Global Gender Gap 2020 report talks about. So let me go a little bit deeper to understand. It is very disheartening actually to say, although there is a slight improvement versus last year to here, under these 4 areas where we are placed, if you look at the Global Gender Gap Index is 69%. Whereas if you look at the other 4 parameters, we are somewhat better. I mean, of course, we are almost close to 100 and achieving parity in the health and survival sub-index and educational attainment. This is a global average, but in some countries it may not be the case. But if you look at in the political empowerment sub-index, we are very, very, very low at the 25% level. And economic participation and opportunity that women have less than, I mean, almost 50%, 58% there. So if you really look at, women are not empowered globally. If you really want to be empowered, there should be equal opportunity. That is where the situation is. So we should not talk about it, complain about it. Some things are within our control, some things are beyond our control. What is it that we need to do? So we as women in logistics, what we do is, we want to really be at the forefront of driving these agendas to really get the women's voice heard and improve the status of women in our sector. So that's what we are doing. A little bit more statistics. So as per this report, it says, if the world to achieve gender parity, it will take 95 years. Very sad, not in our lifetime, not even sometimes in our children's lifetime. So luckily, from last year versus this year, there is an improvement. Last year we were 107 years, now we are within 95 years. So that is some good news. If you look at by the gender gap, the number of years to close region-wise, the best region is the Western Europe. It will take 54 years. Next is South Asia, which I belong to, 71%. Then you have Latin America and Caribbean. So you see the whole numbers. Unfortunately, I think Malaysia falls into East Asia and the Pacific, you're one before the last, 163.4. North worst is, right. So these are the figures, right? So, I mean, it's not, this is just a number. I'm just wanted to show you and show the impact and our action. We have a long way to go to achieve parity. So we cannot wait for 95 5 or 97 years for this to happen, but we need to make sure that we have to achieve that. So if you look at specifically, because if you want to really improve something, we need to really go deep into the figures. So in the global gender gap ranking, if you look at those 4 subsectors, if you look at the economic participation and opportunity, now this gender gap ranking was done for 153 countries. So out of 153 countries, I just put Malaysia figure here because I thought it will be more relevant for you. And also since I had the Sri Lanka figure, I put it here. So economic participation and opportunity, Malaysia is placed 97 out of 153. Education and attainment, you're better, now 86%, 86th ranking. Health and survival, 84th. Political empowerment, 117th, which is not good news. Whereas in Sri Lanka, we are not so good in economic participation because female labor force participation in Sri Lanka is 36%, whereas the global average is 48%. So like that, but luckily we have a very good health system in Sri Lanka. Free health, education and health both are free in our country. So health and survival, Sri Lanka is having number one. There are 39 countries in achieving parity in the countries around the world. So if you really look at, this is the situation in the world, and we need to understand what is it that we need to really do. Because if you really look at different countries, women contribute a huge deal to the economy. I mean, in Sri Lanka, if you look at 29% of the GDP of Sri Lanka is contributed directly by women. And in Pakistan, 11%, Bangladesh, 19%, India, 18%. So although we are ahead of South Asia, we cannot be happy because if the world population is almost little more than men, then at least the contribution that the women make should be at least closer to 50, which is not the case, which we need to really work on it. If you look at the top end of the corporate ladder, the women who have broken the glass ceiling, the percentage of women in companies at board of director level, these are the countries who have at least 1/3 of women at the top. And these are the countries below, which has 1/5 of that population. Women have really broken the glass ceiling and gone up to that highest level in the organization. Recently, Clorox appointed another lady CEO. With that, in Fortune 500 companies, we have 38 women holding senior leadership positions, which is good news. It's a record. So you see some improvements, pockets of brilliance in certain countries, especially in Scandinavian countries, but the situation is still not okay. So that was the global context. So let's understand our sector. Now, we know logistics and transport sector, the global market value is $4 trillion. And globally, 12% of the global GDP, transport and logistics account to 12% of the global GDP. And we are a growing industry. We actually saw the importance of global supply chain logistics during this pandemic. Everything came to a standstill because some places, some countries, almost even in developed countries, the whole machinery came to a standstill because we had issues in our supply chains. It's a growing industry. As long as humans have their needs behind every product, service, event, anything, there is a supply chain. So I always say, if there is no supply chain, there's no life on this planet. So it's that important. So therefore, this is a growing industry. And unfortunately, this is highly male dominant, and we all see as female unfriendly. I don't think like that, but most people feel like that. Because historically, there is high physical effort involved. Muscle power is needed. And also you have long working hours. As women, we have other priorities in life. So these are challenges that we have in our industry. So there are so many barriers which prevents women empowerment, right? Because if you want the freedom, if you are to give women to given freedom, then you need to ensure these barriers are removed. But unfortunately, there are so many societal factors. Society sometimes, especially in Asian cultures, have biases where you see like these particular roles are not meant for women. And these roles are not good for women. So these kind of biases are there. Then there are policy inconsistencies in countries and archaic laws, and also sexual harassment and discrimination, not only in the workplace, commuting to workplace, and various situations women face real hardships. And also our infrastructure and the facilities are not conducive for women to come into world of work, and also even at the home front. So therefore women weigh the pros and cons and decide, okay, I don't want to do this. This is not for me. I will look after my family. So therefore, obviously your economic participation figures are getting hampered. And also those who are already working and made a choice to work, there are wage gaps, inequalities in salary structures, and so many unconscious biases. We cannot only blame the men for that. We as women also have unconscious biases. So we need to understand these issues. So a bit of a background on what these unconscious biases to understand. We sometimes feel not only women, most underestimate women's performance and overestimate male counterparts. Sometimes I know some women don't like to work for women bosses. They prefer to work for a male boss. So you feel that when you're working for a man is better and they can perform better than women. And there are attribution biases, because women by nature don't openly talk about their successes, and they don't overtly go and get credit for what you have done. So men, on the other hand, is having that attribute where they always get the credit for the successes that they have achieved, and women end up being blamed for failures. And maternal bias, because you always feel women have to look after the family. Women only have to do that. Career is for the man, especially when you have children, young children. And there is a research that has been done. It says more children you have, more men start to work and they get more into the employment, whereas women, it is the other way around. So you have these biases. And finally, the confirmation bias, right? So you feel that the society, the ethnicity, various unconscious, like people like ourselves, because we believe our own attributes. So there is this old boys club, you have your own, biases about, okay, this person is from my school, my ethnicity, they belong to my golf club and this kind of thing. And then you select. And women by nature doesn't socialize because they have their work-life balances that you have to manage. So you need to understand these biases. This is another issue that prevents women getting into the world of work. But when you really look at the way that the world is changing, there are so many opportunities. Luckily for us, world is changing at a rapid pace. The technology advancements in all the areas, specifically in supply chain and logistics and transport, in our growing industry of logistics, and with automation and digitization, has become a great equalizer for women. And now more and more jobs that the men used to do, or the humans used to do, is getting replaced by machines. So therefore, you cannot replace the relationship building, the dealing with people, that kind of attributes, using machines. So I remember Jack Ma, when he was interviewed some time ago, he was asked, in his organization, Alibaba, they have more than close to 50% women in the organization. And the question was asked why he always promotes more women. What he said was, most of the purchase decisions are done by women. And machines can be replaced with repetitive tasks, can be replaced by machines. But dealing with people, women has this innate ability of the motherly instincts, the caring attitude. So it's not the emotional, women are very good at emotional intelligence, EQ. But now what is required is the emotional intelligence plus the love and care. So women are very good at that because of the maternal instinct. So by having more women in my organization, we are going to benefit. So it's not something that I have given like that is what is required for the organization and for the market. That's what I'm doing. So it's very true. So he coined a word called LQ. IQ is moving to EQ, emotional intelligence. LQ is the emotional intelligence with love. That is what women possess, and that is what you need to really talk about. So what is it that we can do to empower women? We have to look at how do we really empower women through economic participation, political participation, education attainment, and health and well-being. So we need to look at what we do. I mean, from a WiLAT point of view, I'm going to talk about it so that it is easy for us to relate in our industry. We have already identified mentoring as a strategic thrust, because we know it is important for us to give a helping hand to somebody who really is at a very early stage of their career. And even when you're at a mid-career level, you need to, hold hands, give actually guidance for them, the person, to go and break the glass ceiling. And we need to have role models, because everybody has a different story. There is no one journey that everybody has followed. You may have a goal in life, but there are many journeys that you can follow by learning from each other, to achieve your goal in life. And knowledge sharing webinars like what you have done is very good thing, because then you learn to hear from others what you can learn from them. And I mean, we cannot go on this journey alone. We have to look at male supporters. UN Women has already started the initiative called He for She's. Male advocacy is very important. You cannot go on a journey with women alone. We both give a different skill set to the table. So we need to work together. It's complementary. So UN Women has set up women empowerment principles. So I'll come to that. And we need to also look at women-friendly policy adoption in our countries globally. And sometimes I am not a strong believer of this, but until you get the critical mass, you need to, unless you have women at the senior level, you will not be able to get support to get more women to the organization and support women empowerment. So mandatory board positions, quotas are some of the things that you can really look at. So I spoke about He for She's. So UN Women in 2014, Emma Watson is a brand ambassador for that. They started this He for She program where they identified the impact program called 10 by 10 by 10, where they identified 10 country heads who are supportive of this initiative, 10 universities, 10 countries, and 10 corporates. They identified these organizations and then drove this initiative. So far, I think I couldn't check the latest figure. So far in the global arena, 1,000 odd CEOs have signed up, because they all have pledged and said, yes, it makes sound business sense. Yes, it will increase our talent pool. Yes, it will sharpen our competitive edge. Yes, it will help us to foster sustainable development goals, and it will all benefit us all. And it's good for business. And that's what we did. So this is what we did in Sri Lanka some years ago, getting everybody to come on board to support us. So for WiLAT point of view, this is what I used to advocate, and some countries have adopted as well. So you started at an early stage to mentor. If you want more women to be empowered, you need to guide them, coach them, take them along the journey. Then you also on the way start working with men, He for She advocates. That's what UN Women organization who's talking about, right? Then once you get more men on board, because WiLAT is good at having women, WiLAT friends. So males also can come on board for us, right? And then we get the CEOs in organizations to support the women empowerment principles. And then you can always motivate these people who are really supportive in this agenda by having some recognition program like He for She Awards. When WiLAT Sri Lanka celebrated the 5th year in 2018, our then international president Kevin Byrne came to Sri Lanka and we organized the He for She Awards, and some of the international members like Dorothy, the Hong Kong delegation, and from Pakistan, most of them attended that event as well. So this is some journey that we can talk about. So I'll quickly take you through the benefit that women empowerment will give you. This is the Asia Pacific story. I specifically identified this because it is very close to your heart in Malaysia. So this is a McKinsey Global Institute analysis that was done. And according to them, they say by focusing on higher female labor force participation in quality jobs to boost the economic growth, and also addressing the pressing regional and global issues of women underrepresentation in jobs in the economic participation, and capturing the economic and social benefits of improving women to access digital technology. Because as I mentioned to you now, you don't need physical power, you need the brain power. You need to use this newly emerging digital technology. It is going to be a great equalizer for women. You can work from home, you can get involved in the world of work by taking part in the economic participation. And shifting attitudes about women's role in the society. However much you do all these things, the societal pressures sometimes prevent women coming into the world of work or involved in entrepreneurship. So those things have to be identified. And collaborate on regional solutions, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Now, WiLAT is a global organization. We get together, we learn from each other's good practices. So in terms of financing or the knowledge sharing, powerful catalysts, and we can be a powerful catalyst for gender equality. Now, by adopting these key areas in our countries, especially in the Asia Pacific alone, the opportunity to get economic growth, I mean, you can add $4.5 trillion additional annual GDP by 2025 if you get the women. So why are we waiting? This is quite a compelling business case. I think it is good for the business, good for everybody, for us to get involved in doing that. So I'm just in the last slide by closing the gender gap, because women empowerment is all about getting women to get involved in political involvement, economic participation, education attainment, and also health and well-being. By closing the gender gap, the global GDP, earlier I spoke about the Asia Pacific, global GDP will increase by an average of 35%, with a full 20% of those gains coming from increased productivity due to gender diversity. Because your skilled workforce is getting increased now, therefore you have that benefit coming to you. And when women work, they invest 90%. This is not anything. This World Economic Forum says this, and also a lot of research has proven that 90% of their income based on their businesses into the health and education of the families. They put it back. As women reach their full economic potential to bridge this gender gap locally, there is an estimation of $28 trillion in global GDP by 2025. Now, this is equivalent to combined economies of US and China. It's such a powerful business case. Therefore, it's a no-brainer. Women empowerment is something that we all should drive for, right? So therefore, I'll end up with this. And it's all up to us. You're what you are because of the choices we have made. So if you want to change your destiny by making the right choice, you need to really start working on it now. Because if you want a different outcome, you have to make different choices. Like Einstein said, you are insane by doing the same thing if you expect the same outcome. So therefore, we have to conquer our mind. We need to change our attitude, because attitude always impacts the outcome. So no point in blaming the politicians, no point in blaming the men, no point in blaming the system. I think it's up to us. I am a strong believer of conquering your mind, do what you can, then we will have a critical mass, then we will be an empowered lot. So thank you very much. I would end up now. I hope I was within the time. I think I would have overstepped a little bit, but let me ask the questions later on if the audience have it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Gayani. Is a very strong, strong leader, woman leader in Sri Lanka. And I noticed that they have like 3% women representation in Sri Lanka in terms of the logistics and transport, right? So I think, it's less than 3%. Yeah. Some of the journals said they have like, I think we have a lot work to do in terms of to create the awareness of the woman, the young woman, you know. That's why we established the WiLAT, you know, in order to do that. I think the most interesting point is the culture. You know, the culture, and then we are women, we always compromise when with terms of the working sector. You know, there's a compromise between the men and the women. So there's a gender issue. Is one of the biggest barrier. Yeah, in terms of the management level as well, you know, but you know, it's depend on the, well, we agree, it depend on us, by the way, how we can deal with things, right? So thank you for the very interesting, you know, sharing. So we will back to you, and I've noticed they have like question here, and then
Doctor, can we take the questions after Madam
yeah,
Ng gives her presentation? And Gaini, can you please assign the host again?
yeah, and then all right. So and then okay, I will give the session to the third speaker, Madam Ng Kiat from the Suria Capital Holding Berhad. Madam is a very prominent figure for the Sabah port. I think they have a well-versed experience for the port management as well. Over to you then, Madam. Thank you.
Yeah, just a second. Madam Ng would want to share her screen, so I will wait for Gaini to reassign us, or maybe Gaini, you can assign Madam Ng as the host.
All right.
Wait, I think I cannot see that screen. Take me through the process. I forgot.
All right, just go to the participant sidebar, go to the panelists, yeah, and then see the panelists you want to assign as host and just assign them. Anyway, that was a wonderful piece, Gaini. Excellent insights you have given us.
Change host. I try to give it to everybody. Otherwise, all
okay, it's perfect. Madam is on. Doctor, the floor is yours again.
All right, over to you, Madam Ng, for the third session. Thank you so much.
Madam Ng, you have to release your white mic and start sharing your screen.
Yeah. Madam Ng, turn off.
Okay, maybe while Madam is getting her screen up, maybe you can take 1-2 questions and ask Gaini while Madam is preparing.
All right. Okay. We go to this. We go to the Q&A, and then one first question said that how do women prefer only working for women? And the question for the Madam Gayani, is it because of the culture or nurturing?
Yeah, it's yes and no, I must say. Some women are very motherly, have very motherly instincts and all that. So, and when you, I mean, whether you're a man or a woman, sometimes depends on the relationship and how you really deal with your subordinates or peers. So sometimes women can be also very nasty and not supportive. So sometimes culturally, women like to work with women in certain cultures. But in certain cultures, you know, even in Asian cultures, I have not seen that prevalence that much. But there are good male bosses. So personally for me, if I really look at my career journey, I have always had male bosses. I never had a single female boss, but all throughout my life, they have really supported me. So it is how you really make use of that opportunity that you get from your bosses or peers or the mentors that you have. But of course, having said that, culturally, dealing with a man as your mentor or a superior, you know, there are cultural issues also sometimes because you can't be going and meeting them at odd places and various.
Exactly. You will get the issue where they might come up with stories about you with them and all that. Yeah, our Asian culture.
Yes. Otherwise, I mean, that again, you can select neutral locations in office without going into that to overcome those. There are ways and means to do that. But generally, I would say, yes, it is easy to work with women, but having said that, there are nasty women as well. People will not support. So it's not a case of, you know.
Okay,
Madam, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Can you see the screen?
No, madam. Can you try again one more
Oh, yeah.
time?
I thought I shared. Hang on a minute.
Just click the share screen and see whether it happens.
I thought I'd done that. It's not there yet.
No,
Not
ma'am.
yet, not yet.
Okay,
So it's interesting to see the number of participants building up. Yeah, some Q&As have come in
Can you see
also.
now?
Very good. Yes, ma'am. Can see. You just have to open your file.
Okay, good. All right. Can you see the screen now?
I can see the screen, but actually what would help is if you open that file, because on the screen we see your file, but it's unopened.
Oh, okay.
You just open it before you share the screen. Then when you open the share screen, you can pick the window.
Okay. Okay. I will probably just open it first.
Because when it comes to, while you're doing it, ma'am, when it comes to like, you know, women empowerment, a lot of issues we have with regards to cultural issues. We also have women. I would just take my mother, for instance, just a couple of days back, she was telling me, you know, my mother told me, which is my grandmother, my mother told me that if a woman starts working, the husband becomes lazy. So, you know, you get this kind of mindset around. So how do you deal with that? Yeah. Okay,
is
I
my
think
screen
Madam
okay
Ng
now?
is
Sorry.
ready. Yeah, Madam, you're ready. Go ahead.
Yes, you can see the screen now.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the sound okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Shall I
Yeah,
just
over to you,
start?
madam.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. To all the distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, WiLAT Malaysia, for the invite to speak. And it really gives me great pleasure to be here to share our experience from Sabah Port's perspective. And in fact, within the group, we don't have so much of gender, issue. And I hope my sharing today can be of some hope and encouragement for some of our young, aspiring young female leaders out there. Yeah. Before I talk about anything else, I'd like to quickly touch on some background information of our group by sharing some corporate information. Yeah. Actually, Suria Group, as we call it, Suria Capital Holding is the holding company, which is a listed company on Bursa Malaysia since 1996. And we are in the sector of transportation and logistics. And state government of Sabah remains the 51% shareholders in this company. And of course, our principal business will be in the port operations. And this is a corporate structure whereby Suria Capital Holdings is the holding company. And of course, we have the port operation as the core business. And the other subsidiaries were set up during the privatization time to support the port services as the ancillary services. And in terms of other Suria other major projects, we are also in the cruise and tourism related development. There are 3 pieces of development which are undergoing at the moment at the right in the city center of Kota Kinabalu. The Jason Key, out of which the first phase is already started and almost completed. Then we have the one Jason waterfront, and the third one is International Cruise Terminal. All these actually areas are actually in the old port, KK port area. If you've been to Sabah, KK, the old port area is actually used to, the vacant land used to be actually the container port operation. After privatization, actually we built the port in Sepangah Bay. We moved the containers operation away and thereby leaving the land vacant for redevelopment actually. So the redevelopment is in progress right now. In terms of other development, we have got the Sabah International Convention Center in the vicinity and also a piece of land for hotels to support the convention center. And for us, our 3 developments projects are in the vicinity of these 2 developments. This is a futuristic picture, artist's impression of the new city focus in the making. We will see this hopefully in 8 to 10 years time. Actually, it's it's the other side of the KK city. We call it a new city focus. As you can see that the SICC is a Sabah International Convention Center, and KKCC is actually these 2 actually belongs to Yayasan Sabah, which is a state government owned, And JQ, ICT, and IW is actually our own projects. Just very quickly, just to give you a background what is Suria Group and what we do. And this is another perspective, artist's impression of how it looks in the future. Okay, talking about Suria, in fact, Suria used to be in the finance sector. Yeah, we used to own Sabah Development Bank and Sabah Bank. Because of merger policy, we disposed of all the banks. And there was a time we have a lot of cash but no core business. So to stay listed, we must quickly get hold of core business. That's when I joined in 2001. Actually, I remember second day I was sent to the ports to look at core business and the whole negotiation. So I was there from day one actually, during inception in terms of the core business. The whole negotiation took 3 years, and in 2004, we actually successfully acquired the ports through privatization, and we also set up other subsidiaries because of that. So in a way, in terms of Suria Group, that's a turning point we're talking about. So that's for the group, and in terms of what we, in terms of the size of the company, we normally do about 250 million in terms of revenue, and net profit consistently we've been achieving 50 odd million over the years. And hopefully this year, I think this year's revenue and profit will be down. Hopefully it will not be so much affected, probably 30% or thereabout. So let's talk about the privatization exercise. Through the, as I mentioned, the core business was obtained through the privatization exercise, whereby the ports, which were formerly under the state government, have been now acquired by Suria Group. Of course, the consideration was cash. What we did was we bought over 30 years commercial operations of the ports. So that's for Suria. For Suria, through the privatization exercise, Suria has been transformed from a financial institution to a mandated operator of all seaports in Sabah in year 2004. Just for the information for those outside Malaysia, to just tell you where we are actually part of Malaysia. Sabah is actually East Malaysia. We are the second largest state in whole of Malaysia, and of course neighboring countries will be in the Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and the others. Yeah. And with the privatization exercise, all those ports, as mentioned, under the state government then, are now under a new company by the name of Sabah Ports and Berhad, which was incorporated way back in 2004 to take over all the ports in Sabah. So you can see the map. Actually, why we have so many ports? Because you look at the Sabah, actually in the middle of the state, is big mountain, mountainous terrain, and sea. Transport remain as important mode of transport. That's why we end up with so many ports throughout Sabah. So in a way, Sabah ports is in a very unique disposition, in a sense, different from the other Malaysian ports, because normally people just do one port. But for us, we are actually the operator of all 8 ports in Sabah, and all these 8 ports are under one management. Yeah, and also under one regulatory body. Since 2014, of course, when we first privatized, we inherited all the old ports infra. But since 2014, we have been, have done a lot to enhance the port efficiency and spearhead the logistic and infrastructure development in the state. So talking about from the ports perspective, for those who were in government before, there's a big change. Yeah, we're talking about change management because we inherited about 800 over people, from the government to be injected to Sabah Ports and Berhad for the port business. So it's a big change from a government to a private entity. So in terms of what we have now, instead of just serving the government, we are talking about there are quite a few stakeholders to take care in terms of the port objectives. So from here we can see that the spirit of privatization you can gauge by analyzing in terms of the interests of the stakeholders. So for the government, when they prioritize the ports to Suria, of course, the main objective is to make sure we provide adequate and efficient port services. And that in terms of the delivery of port services and the development of the new facility will be now undertaken by Suria. And of course, Suria is actually, who are the shareholders? The shareholders, of course, 51% is actually owned by the state government. Other than that, we also have other shareholders in terms of 49%, whereby they expect Suria, to perform better, because the performance will now, evaluated against the light of other listed ports, other listed ports, and for that's why in terms of the emphasis for Sabah ports now to be operated as a commercial entity is very important, because of course when they invest money in the company, they expect us to maximize that profit. But in terms for the port users, is another stakeholder we got to take care, because port user will expect to receive good quality services for the price that they pay, and then we have to make sure they are satisfied to ensure steady revenue streams and also the market share. So Sabah Ports as a commercial entity would have to ensure that the facility of the ports be continuously upgraded to serve the port user. So in terms of people of Sabah, Sabah is highly dependent on good shipping lines to ensure that the transportation costs do not unnecessarily rise, or raise to even to cause the cost of goods to be more expensive. So it's important that we remain efficient to help to control the overall transportation costs. Yeah, and also beside that, the overall beside the improvement in the port efficiency and capacity, we also encourage investors to invest in Sabah. And with the multiplier effect of all this investment, the people of Sabah will stand to gain from the economy, better economy, and also better employment opportunity and a more robust, economy. So in terms of the employees, as mentioned, there's a big change there. But of course, when we first took over, it's expected that the employees would be a bit insecure because of the imminent internal reorganization, new policies, procedure, introduction of new technologies and performance evaluation. And also, so it's very important that we will have to manage all these, the employees, to ensure that, to also make them understand that the changeover would be mutually beneficial. And also the new approach and the flexibility of the privatized entity will provide every opportunity to further optimize the skills and potential within the workforce to create the new strengths which are necessary. And we have to make the workers, the employees understand that there will be opportunity to develop new skill, and as the business develop and new technologies introduced. Another important point is, of course, profit sharing, which is a common feature of privatized enterprise, whereby the employee stands to benefit from the sharing of rewards in the form of bonuses and improved terms of employment. And also there would be opportunity also to participate in the share option scheme, which is normally practiced by listed co. And I can say that we already, I think, benefited from that part, because we did, we did implement this scheme in 2018 actually. So very quickly, just to sum up. So in terms of the private, as mentioned already, as a private entity, we are expected to be self-funded, because whatever logistic and infrastructure development will be self-funded. There will not be a cent from the government now. So we have to really earn our keep in that sense. We have to be efficient, we have to manage our resource properly, and also in terms of the financial performance have to be gauged all the time by the shareholders, investors. As mentioned, these are all the expectation by all our stakeholders. So as you know, the port industry is actually a male-dominated industry. So we are talking about how, so actually in terms of Suria Group, we don't have so much issue in terms of the gender diversity. So this is a slide that shows the gender composition in Suria Group workforce in year 2019, last year. We've got about 1,000 or 1,100 over employees throughout the states, and out of which about 19% are actually females, whereas 81% are males. But I'm glad to say that in terms of women in management, it actually far exceed the what you call the standard, you know, in terms of the requirement 30% I show you. Okay, talking about board. Actually, this is a slide that shows the old board. Way back from day one until 2015, the board members, this is Suria board, and as well as Sabah Port boards, actually are all males, dominated by males. And then as far as Malaysia is concerned, the Security Commissions Malaysia actually, you know, have this MCCG 2017, which require large company to have at least 30% women on board. Of course, we are not classified as a large company. I'm glad to say that we already, you know, taken action to actually far exceed the target that mentioned here. Oh, this is current report. Of course, the board has decreased in terms of size, but you can see that we have now 7 members on the board, and I'm one of them. And actually, I was appointed in 2016, and since then, 2 additional female directors, you know, appointed. We have now actually about 40% women on board of Suria Capital Holdings, which is a listed co, yeah. And I was actually made appointed as a group MD in 2016, as well as the MD for Sabah Ports. And I would say that I was the first female director actually for the group as well as for the operating company. And I also sit on the boards of a few subsidiaries. And as mentioned, you know, in terms of transformation for the 2 Suria Group as well as Sabah Ports, I've been there since inception actually. You know, I've been involved from day one in terms of implementing all the changes and all the initiatives. And also, I'm glad also I've also participated in empowering women in that sense, appointing women to management as well as to the board. I was actually a member of Sabah Women Affairs Advisory under the state government from January 2017 to December 2018. And I'm also currently the chairperson of Sabah Logistic Forum, you know, and I was conferred the FCILT last year actually. And this slide shows, this is my management team in Suria Group actually as holding. As you can see that I've got 12 members here, executive committee members. Out of the 12 members, I've got 9 women. That is about 75%, yeah, 75%. I've got the female CFO, I can see, and 3 GM, out of whom 2 are females. This is for the Suria Group. And for Sabah Ports Management, as mentioned, I've got the 3 GMs, out of which 1 GMO is male, and under the GM operations, we have all the ports, 8 ports. 7 ports are manned by male and 1 by a lady port manager in Tawau. And for the other members, the senior management, mainly they are in the shared services, under legal, finance, and various positions. Yeah.
Madam Ang, sorry, we really running out of time. I just wondering if you can, you know, like 2 minutes for this one.
Oh, okay, sure. I will go through the slide very quickly now. So in terms of this is the slide that shows all the port managers. And in terms of the company under the management, this is the recent awards we have already won. 2019 actually, we won the Green Port Award for Sabah Bay, which is a flagship port for Sabah Port and Berhad. And then recently last year as well, we also won the Sustainability Report. The picture shows our CFO receiving the Silver Award in Jakarta for this Sustainability Report Award. And recently in February 2020, Sabah Port Berhad also was awarded Port Terminal of the Year, Southeast Asia. And I was also awarded Woman of the Year in Port Terminal Industry for 2020. Okay, this is an important slide, how we empower women, yeah? Actually, in Suria Group, we emphasize on meritocracy. Any individuals who show performance will be rewarded and advanced regardless of gender. We ensure there's no bias towards gender and that women are placed on a level playing field. We give equal opportunity to women, recognizing the value women can bring to the organization, supporting women to drive changes, encouraging women to contribute views and thoughts, and also empowering women to participate in decision making, and giving women the power, control, and authority to act and execute. This is what we practice in the group, yeah? Very quickly, I want to share with my colleagues. Madam Lai, who is the first female port manager in 2013. Before, there's no such thing as a female port manager, actually. And she was there in 2013, 2018. Now she's currently one of the GM in Sabah Ports. And she's also the president of Sabah Women Entrepreneurs and Professional Association, SWEPA, current one, until 2021. She's also the honorary treasurer of CMILT Malaysia's Sabah section. So this is Siti Noraisha Azizan. I'm sure some of you know her. And she's the GM Corporate Services since 2012 and recently appointed as ED of one of the subsidiaries. She's chairperson of CMILT Sabah chapter and also WiLAT for Sabah chapter. Currently, the vice president of IPH, Women Forum for Asia ASEAN region, and used to be the chair for IPH previously. So for some of my last slides will just have some quotes to encourage women. Have faith in your journey. Everything had to happen exactly as it did to get you where you're going next. And also there's no force equal to a woman determined to rise. And from Michelle Obama, and she says there's no limit to what we women can accomplish. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Ang. Very inspiring presentations as well, and then we have a lot to learn many things when we're talking about the women empowerment. So I'm just wondering if one day we can collaborate together in terms of the looking for the key success factor for women. Yeah, and then because you are the what you call the Iron Lady of the transport and logistics, so we should for the betterment of the nation, for you inspire the young women, we should looking for the option for determine the key success factor. So in terms of the logistics and transport, I don't see any. We have lacking evidence on what you call in terms of literature on this one too. So thank you so much for the panelists. Very interesting. So. All the presentation. Now,
can we take one question because we're actually gone above 7 minutes above our time.
Yeah.
So maybe we can ask both our speakers to share their insights on this one question that I find is pretty important about women who have retired, and how can they share or be how can they contribute? What kind of a platform is going to be available for these women who have already retired, who have all that knowledge to share?
So this is the question from I think it's Prof. Sabaria, right?
Yeah, it's from Professor Sabaria, exactly.
So this, Professor said, how do women leaders who have to retire from the job, retirees, continuously contribute to the development of the human? How do we empower their technical knowledge? Well, this is quite interesting as well from the professors. What the platform available for them are they seen as important in the women agenda? Maybe Madam Gaya will, free to answer this one. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think that shows that lady who asked that question really has willing to share her knowledge. Not many would always after retirement would like to do that, spend their time, but I think that's a very good honorable intention. I think WiLAT is all about that. If you really want to contribute to the women in the industry and also share your knowledge that you have acquired over the years, we have ample opportunity within WiLAT. Now in WiLAT Malaysia, we are driving this mentoring program. We have this empowerment, leadership and all that. So one immediate thing that you can do is by taking part in knowledge sharing sessions like this, when you share knowledge about your experiences, somebody can really pick those ideas and apply in their own environment. And then you can do that. That's one area. The other thing is you can get involved in conducting workshops, practical workshops. It's not only like theory. You can support WiLAT to conduct programs, training programs, and then you have small workshops, you know, then share your practical examples, insights, and take them to field visits, show them how to operate a port, what are the challenges, the specific areas, technical aspects and all that. The third thing is mentoring. That's a lifelong thing. I mean, you can, as senior women, I mean, in Sri Lanka, it's very successful for the past 6 years. In some countries, I know they've already adopted that. You know, if you follow mentorship program very rigorously and very well, the senior ladies who have acquired so much knowledge from the industry over their career journey, they can share their knowledge with the young girls and boys also, not only females. So this sharing, the mentoring, you know, knowledge sharing and all that can really be areas that they can actually come on board with WiLAT and do that. I'm glad that she asked that question. I hope, Savia, you will get in touch with her and get her services.
Yeah.
Not many always would like to come.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Madam Gayani, let me say something. Actually, I also would like to thank Professor Shabaria. Actually, she is our former, she is a chartered member, CMILT.
Okay.
And yeah, she is also one of the former council members.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but recently she's busy. So now I think it's good to have her in around. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Sabaria, if you are listening.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah.
much. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I suggest one more thing. I suggest you develop a database of, you know, the knowledge, you know, sharing people who with all that kind of expertise that you have in your country, or the ladies who are in the industry, and then
Yes,
reach out
yeah.
to them. That way you can do that. Yeah.
Yes, WiLAT Malaysia welcome everyone. Let us to
Yeah, maybe what we can do, ma'am,
yeah.
is we can organize after we finish our 4 series. We can
Yes.
organize engaging all our wonderful
Yes.
ladies that we already have in our
Yes.
network. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Can I make a comment on the retired woman suggestion?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay, in my opinion, I would think that nowadays we are talking about what diversity, not diversity either in terms of gender or from different discipline, good mixture. You know, of those women who are actually retired with rich experience and actually offer themselves to sit on certain board to help out, yeah, to help in terms of running companies, to help make good decisions for companies. And other than that, of course, we've been talking about mentoring, you know, and all those coaching the younger ones, and also involve, you know, in things like WiLAT and other NGO, yeah, Sabah and other organizations to give back, yeah, to give back. So I think there are a couple of things that retired women, you know, retired women can do.
Can I also add something, Madam Eng? Can I move to Sabah? I always love Sabah. And something about Sabah where you guys seem to be recognizing women more than the rest of us in Malaysia.
Yeah,
so
that's why, yeah, as I mentioned, hopefully my sharing here will help to motivate some of the young people outside.
Definitely.
Of course, I have to mention here also, what I become today is also due to, you know, decision and action by men. You know, without the support of the man, we will not be where we are today, especially, you know, my predecessor, the board members. And for one, I have been actually, as I mentioned, from, you know, inception to where we are now, I joined the company actually only as a senior manager. So as I work and efforts were recognized, and I would say that I'm fortunate enough to experience, I don't see any prejudice actually in terms of gender, not in our group. So, I mean, before, as mentioned, we didn't have any board manager, no board, you know, no female board member and all that to where we are today. So that because we emphasize on meritocracy, yeah, no biases.
All right, thank you, Madam. I think the issue is here, if we can, you know, if we can like determine the key success factor for the woman to be a leader, I think it's quite, you know, but talking future work to be developed as well.
Yeah, it's like a practical handbook for us. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
And then can we take one one question, or we can finish
No,
now?
I think we ought to end the session. We've already passed
Yes.
the timing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 14 minutes past. So we
Alright.
thank everybody. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Gayani, Madam Ang, Dr. Rohafiz, and of course,
Yeah.
Haja, you're the woman who's
Yeah.
running the show here. So thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
would
Thank
like
you all. Yep.
Thanks.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to come to
Thanks a lot.
Sabah anytime.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely to climb the mountain again.
Yes.
Definitely. All
So
right.
Alright.
one
Okay,
last
bye.
thing, WiLAT is leading to the changes to more open, equal, and inclusive industry. So please join the
Yeah,
Chartered
yes,
Institute of
yes.
Logistics and Transport, and through WiLAT Malaysia, through WiLAT Women in Logistics and Transport. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yeah,
And
and maybe
Thank
one more
you.
message, Haja, to resonate out there. We have quite a number of female charter members already and female
Yes.
members of CILT.
yes,
Please come and join us in
Sure.
WiLAT. Get more involved with us. There's so many
Yes.
things that can be done for all of us,
Yeah.
right, ma'am?
yeah,
Right.
we need you. We need you to support us
Thank you,
to get,
bye.
to get the activities done. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.